Have you ever noticed that the harder you try to stop a tantrum, the worse it gets? You explain, you negotiate, you threaten consequences, and somehow your child ends up screaming even louder. If that sounds familiar, you may be making one of 3 discipline mistakes that secretly fuel tantrums instead of stopping them. Today, I'm going to show you the 3 most common discipline mistakes parents make, and more importantly, what to do instead. And stay until the end, because mistake number 3 is what psychologists often call the good parent trap. It's incredibly common, and it may be making your child's tantrums worse without you even realizing it. Before we get started, if you're a parent who wants practical, science-backed advice for raising emotionally healthy children without guilt, fear, or constant power struggles, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. I post new parenting videos every week. Now let's get into mistake number 1. Mistake number 1. Using logic during an emotional storm. This is probably the most common mistake I see. A child is screaming, crying, throwing toys, or completely overwhelmed by emotion, and the parent starts explaining. "We don't behave like that. You need to use your words. Let me explain why that's wrong." The intention is good. The timing is not. Here's why. During a tantrum, your child's emotional brain is in control. The thinking part of the brain temporarily takes a back seat. In simple terms, your child isn't choosing not to listen. At that moment, they genuinely have a harder time processing logic. Imagine trying to solve a difficult problem while the fire alarm is blaring right next to your ear. That's what intense emotions can feel like for a young child. When emotions are extremely high, learning is extremely low. That's why long explanations during a meltdown almost never work. Let me give you a real-life example. Imagine your child is leaving the playground. You've already said it's time to go, but your child suddenly drops to the ground and starts crying. As parents, our instinct is often to explain. "We have to go home. It's getting late. We need to make dinner." Or, "We can come back another day." All of those reasons make perfect sense to an adult. But in that moment, your child isn't focused on your explanation. They're focused on one thing: their disappointment, their sadness, their frustration. And until those emotions calm down, your words usually won't reach them. That's why emotional connection comes before problem solving. Not because feelings are more important than rules, but because calm brains learn better. Instead of teaching, focus on calming. Instead of correcting, focus on connection. Try saying, "I see you're upset. I know this is hard. I'm here with you." That's it. Simple words, calm voice, no lecture, no debate, no negotiation. Once your child feels safe and calm again, that's when teaching can happen. Not during the storm, after the storm. Mistake number 2. The sometimes method. Let's say your child wants candy before dinner. One day, you say no. Your child cries. You hold the boundary. The next day, you're exhausted. You've had a long day. You just want 5 minutes of peace. So this time, you give in. Most parents have done this. You're human. But here's the problem. From your child's perspective, the rule just changed. Now the rule feels unpredictable. Sometimes crying works. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes arguing works. Sometimes it doesn't. And when children don't know which version of the rule they'll get, they naturally keep trying. In fact, unpredictable rewards are one of the strongest ways habits get reinforced. Your child isn't trying to manipulate you. They're learning from experience. They're learning that if they cry long enough, push hard enough, or argue long enough, success might be just around the corner. One thing I often tell parents is this: children pay far more attention to what we do than what we say. You can explain a rule 10 times, but if the rule changes every week, that's what your child will remember. Consistency doesn't mean being strict all the time. Consistency means being predictable. It means your child knows what to expect. And when children know what to expect, they usually feel safer. Think about your own life. Imagine if traffic lights only worked sometimes. Red meant stop on Monday, but maybe go on Tuesday. You'd feel stressed every time you approached an intersection. Children experience something similar when family rules constantly change. Predictability creates security, and security helps reduce emotional outbursts. That's why consistency matters so much. You don't need dozens of rules. You don't need perfect parenting. You simply need a few clear boundaries that stay the same. Choose 3 non-negotiable rules. Keep them simple, keep them realistic, and follow through calmly every time. Children may not always like consistency, but they absolutely benefit from it. And let me ask you something. Have you ever given in simply because you were exhausted? If so, you're definitely not alone. Let me know in the comments by typing, "Been there." I promise most parents watching this video have experienced the exact same thing. Now let's move on to the most important mistake of all. Mistake number 3, the good parent trap. This one catches so many loving parents, especially parents who grew up with very strict, very harsh, or very controlling discipline. They don't want their children to feel hurt. They don't want their children to feel rejected. They don't want to become the kind of parent they feared growing up. So little by little, boundaries start disappearing. The parent says yes when they really mean no. The parent negotiates endlessly. The parent avoids setting limits because they feel guilty. And while this comes from a place of love, it often creates the opposite result. Here's the truth. Healthy boundaries do not harm children. Healthy boundaries help children feel safe. Children actually relax when they know a calm and confident adult is in charge. Think about the world through a child's eyes. The world is huge. It's unpredictable. It's confusing. Children look to adults for structure. They look to adults for guidance. They look to adults for safety. When boundaries constantly move, the world feels less predictable. And when the world feels less predictable, children often become more anxious, more frustrated, more emotional, and yes, they may have even more tantrums. Sometimes parents hear the word boundary and immediately think of punishment. But boundaries and punishment are not the same thing. A boundary simply means this is what is okay, and this is what is not okay. A boundary can be delivered with kindness. A boundary can be delivered with empathy. A boundary can even be delivered with a hug. For example, you might say, "I know you're upset. I know you want another cookie," and the answer is still no. Notice what's happening there. You're not ignoring the feeling, but you're also not changing the boundary. That's the balance children need. Empathy without boundaries creates confusion. Boundaries without empathy create resentment. Healthy parenting requires both. And when children consistently experience both, they develop emotional security that lasts far beyond childhood. Children don't need another friend. They need a calm adult leader, someone who can stay kind, stay firm, and stay consistent. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is guidance. Discipline is teaching. And ultimately, discipline is an act of love. So let's quickly recap. Number 1, stop using logic during emotional storms. Connect first, teach later. Number 2, be consistent. Don't let rules become a lottery. And number 3, don't fall into the good parent trap. Kindness and boundaries can absolutely exist together. In fact, the healthiest parenting usually requires both. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 3 mistakes do you struggle with the most? Using logic during a meltdown? Being consistent when you're exhausted? Or setting boundaries without feeling guilty? Leave a comment below. I read as many comments as I can, and your experience may help another parent feel a little less alone. If you found this video helpful, please take a second to hit the like button. It helps YouTube share this video with more parents who need it. And if you know a mom, dad, grandparent, or caregiver who is struggling with tantrums right now, share this video with them. You never know whose day it might make easier. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week, I share practical, research-backed parenting strategies that help you raise emotionally healthy, resilient children. Remember, there are no perfect parents. There are only parents who keep learning. And every small step you take today can make a big difference for your child tomorrow. I'm Dr. Sarah. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.